Oh, hello there. Yes, well, we've reached the fag end in so many different ways, haven't we? Yes, indeed. It's worthwhile, I thought, today having a look at the Daily Telegraph and the glorious opinions which spew forth from that esteemed body, one which we are constantly bearing in mind at the moment mustn't fall into foreign hands because it needs to stay within, well, non-foreign hands, as far as I can make out, although I'm willing to bet that whoever takes it over will be absolutely wonderful and never mentioned again in the pages of the paper. However, yes, it needs to be there as this august body which will guide us through all the complexities of modern life. So I thought today we'd just have a quick look at the comments section and see exactly what pearls of wisdom we've managed to pick up from that. Mainly because the first person I came across was John Bolton, a man who is arguing in the pages of the Telegraph that we need to bomb people. Now, he's made his career out of bombing people, starting way back in the Vietnam War when he was proposing bombing people. He didn't actually fight in the Vietnam War. I think he had a sore foot or a note from his mum or something. But he's a man who you know him from Iraq, obviously. But he's actually managed to throughout his entire career suggest that people have weapons of mass destruction, and here he is in Cuba, in fact, one of them, astoundingly. But here he is in the Telegraph saying that, well, they have no other option but to bomb Tehran, obviously, because that's worked so well elsewhere, hasn't it? And it certainly hasn't arrived us at where we are. So thanks for those pearls of wisdom, John. Lovely. Then we have Sam Ashworth-Hayes, who possibly, in a way that only the Telegraph can manage, has a right-wing takeaway about the virtues of conservatism, which are exemplified in the Dickensian tale of A Christmas Carol in Scrooge. I know, astounding, isn't it? He'd look at the Muppet Christmas Carol and suggest that his takeaway from that is that the benefits bill is too large. Really astounding. Yes, yet another Oxbridge guy, obviously. We have Janet Daly. I know this is an older one, but I don't know. I've said it before, but is there anyone in the world who says, oh, great, there's a new column from Janet Daly? Of course not. Western elites loathe their voters. Their contempt is palpable. No, Janet, that's just you. Okay? And what you mean by Western elites is people you don't like. Why would anyone pay her for any form of opinion about anything? It's really astounding. Think about it. I think about why you would want to know what Janet Daly thinks. Yeah, David Frost, who always crops up in the pages of the papers, complaining bitterly about whatever the government isn't doing. A man who appears not to know that his party has been in power for the best part of 15 years, and apparently the prisons are quite bad. Wonder why that is, David. I guess it's the Western elites, maybe? I don't know. And yes, Jeremy Warner, who's another one of those sort of economist people that they employ to tell you that you're not working hard enough and you need to change. These people are very worried about the notion that wages will go up because of the scarcity of labour, so you need to get back to work. I know you're in a wheelchair and you can't, but you're really letting the side down. We might pass some laws soon to make sure that you do, obviously. Yes. Imagine an economy with scarcity of labour. Wasn't that one of our Brexity benefits, wasn't it? No, obviously not. Obviously not. Speaking of which, of course, Alistair Heath, a man who was almost directly responsible for us getting Liz Truss. Western civilization is being destroyed from within by forces we can't control. Good, Alistair. That'll make a nice change, won't it? A lot of us are waiting for all of these things to happen, and the sooner the better. Yes, apparently all things are happening which are very, very bad, but they're nothing to do with Alistair and his opinions on where the economy needs to go. No, of course not. I mean, he's just always right about everything, particularly Liz Truss. Speaking of which, of course, people being right, we get Tom Harris, who a long time ago had an actual job, but now he's managing to slag off Jacques Delors, a guy, barely cold, one might say, but obviously we have to have a go at, the EU, because remember how bad that was. Yeah, thank God we left, because now we can control our it's all being destroyed by the wokists. I don't know. I'm really confused, as indeed I'm sure you are. But never mind. Not in Tom's mind. Not in Tom's mind. That's not what we get. Now, I could go on and have a look at the comments section of the Express, except, of course, nobody cares about that. But if you have a cursory look at that today, you also end up with the idea that the reason why the railways don't work in the UK is the unions, and it's actually got a piece from Esther McVeigh saying about how brilliant the honours system is today, of all days. Of course she does, because that's her job, isn't it? And these people, that's their job. Imagine, right? If a group of people took over, like the Express or the Telegraph, and didn't have your best interests at heart, imagine how appalling that would be. What an awful thing that would be. Anyway, do have a lovely weekend if you can do. New year can't be as bad as last year. Oh yes it can, cries the people that read the Daily Telegraph. It'll be so much worse. Imagine it, rising wages and a whole bunch of young people coming into the workforce who don't buy into libertarian conservatism. The horror, the horror.